Hi, this is Kim White with the My Sexy Business team. I am here with the amazing Pedro Maciel. I probably butchered that, but I'm trying. He is here
Yeah.
tonight to talk about the No Shame in My Game, I Love Me Now selfie challenge that kicks off in the morning. Pedro, welcome to the show and thank you for joining me to talk about something that is a little hard for a lot of people to talk about.
Oh no problem. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on one of your live streams. It's awesome.
Well, Pedro is a Navy veteran. He is a safety leader in the construct. I'll get it out in a second. In the construction industry, he is part of the Real Talk podcasting team. He has his own super amazing podcast. He does all of these things behind the scene that people don't realize how amazing he is. And then you add to that, he's a dad of four princesses and a wife to a queen. So I think right there is like enough that we should stop and say thank you for your service, not only as a veteran, but as a daddy.
No, thank you for highlighting that. It's being a dad of four girls is definitely challenging at times, but a great experience and a blessing.
So awesome. Well, I want to get into the challenge because this is the kickoff for it. And we are here to talk about why it's important. This challenge came about because we were talking in several of the rooms on the club one, the house one.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a different platform, but we were talking about it and it kept coming up that this was May is Mental Health Awareness Month and how important it is to reach out if you need help, but to also reach out if you think someone is hurting or having problems. And I will tell you, I have been through the loss of a child. I have been through like a lot of things that I have needed that. I have needed people around me. So Pedro, do you have instances that you can share where it was really important for people to surround you in your journey?
Yeah, no, instances where I've um, dealt with my own mental health awareness. I had a heart attack. I was a heart attack survivor, and that takes a toll on you. It came to a point to where I felt like I lost a piece of me, and I did when I had the heart attack. But surrounding myself with family and friends that were going to uplift me and kind of keep me in check. My daughters definitely kept me in check along those lines. Um, but yeah, that's one of the big instances that kind of woke me up. And even before that, some of the stuff that happened in the military, and then throughout my tenure as a safety professional, seeing certain things that you didn't think you would ever see, and it gets to you, but you learn to um, pick up the pieces and build something great.
Well, I must say, you are such an advocate, not just in the month of May, but you've been an advocate the whole time I have known you. And it just tells how big a heart you have. And this challenge is about sharing basically our stories so that other people don't find shame and they don't hold back from telling their stories. So I think it's really important to to put out there right at the beginning of this that the selfies are not about showing off. We scroll through social media and we think everybody's life is better than ours. And we look at our blooper reel and their highlight reel, and it's just not true. We all go through things. So when you post on your social media, what do you think about when you're thinking of people out there that are hurting? Because I know you are so tender-hearted. Um, Tell me kind of something that you have dealt with like social media kind of things.
Um, so, ooh, yeah, that's a big one. Social media in general is just sometimes it could be very, very toxic, very, bad for your mental health because there's so much negativity in the world. And so what and there's been times in some of the posts that I've had early on, like on LinkedIn and believe it or not, on LinkedIn there is negativity over there on that space. But even here on Facebook, I know Facebook gets a bad rap for having a lot of negativity, but there's a lot of good that comes out of it. So it just dealing with that and kind of tuning out the negativity and don't allow it into what you're doing on social media, and being able to, as much negative that comes your way, putting out twice as much positive vibes out there to kind of eliminate those types of things go a long way.
Yeah. So do you have a tip if I'm scrolling through and I am feeling a little, you know, little down or I am struggling and I'm scrolling through and I'm seeing all these people who are either on vacation or they're at a fancy dinner or they're doing all these amazing things. What kind of tip could you give me to like keep me from going down what I consider like a spiral? It can spiral us down and trigger us into thinking our life isn't great.
Yeah, and you see all of these things, especially like on Instagram. All these beautiful places and the nice cars and the models with the perfect hair and yeah, they do that, and they put all of that out there. But when you strip away the Instagram and them off of social media, you take all of that away. They're a normal human being, and what a tip that I would give is don't focus on all the glitz and the glamour, uh, you know, because all the glitz and the glamour, that's what people are hiding behind. They're really hiding what they're feeling inside. They're really hiding that hurt that comes about. Um, and so it definitely is one of those things that you definitely need to incorporate, not focusing on the glitz and the glamour.
Gotcha. I think that one of the things that I want to touch on tonight about the selfie, and Pedro, I don't know if you know your camera has gone off.
Yes,
Okay. As
I'm
long as you
working.
know.
Yeah, no, I see it. And I'm trying to get it back up and running. Technical
Well,
difficulties on live. It happens to the best of us. I promise you. I've had worse happen.
it's funny because like this is just we're gonna be messy. My whole thing is messy is beautiful. At least we're doing something, and at least we're out here, being real. We're not perfect, and I am gonna comment on this because this is a selfie challenge, and I really had a struggle a few days ago because I literally burned my bangs off. Like, and I had to make the choice of whether to come on live. I have all these interviews this week to promote our challenge, and then I had to decide if I really wanted to be up here with no, my bangs burned off. I have like little wispy hairs up here, what is left of my hair, and I have to tell you, it almost was perfect timing. I'm I would never do it on purpose, but I can tell you it was timed perfectly for the fact that I had to make the choice whether I was going to actually do what I said I was going to do,
Hmm.
which was show up and be raw and real, and I choose that. Like if you only follow us because I have perfect hair or whatever, you might as well move on because it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and see that's the thing. The imperfections that we all have make us perfectly us. And it's true. And I think, not to plug my podcast, the X Factor Safety, but I think that's one of the big reasons why I aimed at that, because everybody has an X factor, a uniqueness about them that makes them them. And when I talk to people, I like to dive in and figure out what makes you, what makes you tick, what makes you laugh, what makes you cry. And we don't want anybody crying, but what is it that makes you uniquely you?
Love that. And I'm going to not shamelessly plug your podcast. I'm going to say it out loud. Everybody should go and subscribe and listen to Pedro and his, he was one of the top 25 sexiest voices on Clubhouse. Just saying, that was like something else. So if you go and listen to his podcast, it is the X Factor of Safety, right, Pedro?
Mm-hmm.
Was that
Yep.
okay?
The X factor of safety. Yep.
So you should definitely go listen to his podcast. But if you are struggling, I definitely want to put it out there that we are here all the time, but we are highlighting it this week. We all have little different things we're going to put on our social media platforms, like across all of them,
Mm-hmm.
to let you know that we're here. And they're going to have the hashtags no shame in my game and the hashtag I love me now, because we don't want the shame parts. We don't want you to feel anything other than happy that you're you, because there's only one you, and we want you to know that that is special. No matter what has happened in your life, you are amazing. And I think, I don't know, I want you to speak to that, Pedro.
No, and it's perfect. It's perfect hashtags that are going to go along with this mental health awareness campaign that you're putting together. That we're putting together a great community. The hashtag no shame in my game. You should not be shamed or feel any type of shame, and that's the stigma that we need to get rid of. Is being able to discuss openly how someone is feeling. It is okay to not be okay, but it's also okay to ask for help. It's also okay to reach out to somebody and say, I'm having a bad day. I'm not feeling quite like me. So that no shame in my game works perfectly. And I love me now. It's the best time to love yourself right now. No matter whether you're at your lowest or you're at your highest, hitting that top peak. Now is the time to love yourself for that very reason. If you are at your lowest, know that we are here for you. We are here to support you, and we are that shoulder to cry on. We are that ear to listen if you need us to. But I was always told, and this is my grandfather always told me these things. When you hit rock bottom, the only place you can go is up, right? Some people do stay there in that because they don't have the support system. So that's why this campaign is great.
Love that, Pedro. And I think that one of the things about the I love me now part of this challenge, about 20 years ago, someone told me that I was so ugly that I couldn't even be used by God. Like, those were words that they spoke to me, and I believed them for a while. And then I realized, here's the thing, it's not what I look like on the outside that matters anyway. It is how I am and who I am. And so the I love me now has nothing to do with pride or ego. It has to do with I choose today to love me as is unconditionally. And I have been on a campaign for a while, but several years ago this started, that I took a selfie and I made myself look at myself on that selfie. I I looked myself in the eyes, I looked in the mirror, I started doing those things, and at first, it's super hard because you immediately go to all the flaws. But I can honestly say that when I take a selfie now, even with no bangs, even with, no makeup, even with all the things, I love who I am. And that's what I wish for everybody. Like, that's what I wish for everybody, to come to that place of knowing how valuable they are right now, today, unconditionally, as is.
Yeah,
Did you want to
you know,
speak to that, Pedro?
yeah, no, it's definitely one of those things. Some mental health awareness and feeling those types of things is it's done. Uh, the I love me now, that self care, that self love. You got to love yourself first. I hosted a room over on the other place, and it was called "You Can't Fill Everyone's Cup if yours is not full." So you have to take care of yourself fully. You have to love yourself fully in order to serve the people that you want to serve, whether it be an audience, whether it be a team that you have at work, even your family, mothers and dads, serving their loved ones. Dad, I know a lot of dads, just, being on the road and being a road warrior, you sometimes have to just suck it up and be okay. But a lot of the guys that are out there, it's okay not to be okay. You can vent, you can let it out. And there's too much suicide that goes on, especially in the construction space. It's a big number that we lose a lot of brothers and sisters out there from PTSD, and people think PTSD is only in the military. No, it's all walks of life. Any kind of trauma that you have, any kind of stresses that you're under, could cause that. So reach out, please reach out.
Hey, Joe. And you kind of bring up a point about the difference between girls and boys. If I cry, I'm just looked at as a girl. But if a guy cries, he really does feel like that's not okay. And I'd love for you to speak to that because I don't agree with that. Like, I think when you bottle that stuff up, it's horrible and it will come out a different way.
One more time, Kim, and kind of broke up there.
Oh, sorry. I just would like for you to speak to the difference between the expectations of women and the expectations of men in this mental health awareness because women are allowed to be quote unquote girls when they cry or they get emotional, but men are told to not do those things, or at least that's been my experience, and I want you to speak to that.
Yeah, no, and to that, women are a little bit more emotional than men are, but but let that not fool you, gentlemen, because all the feelings that you hold inside you. The anger, the frustration, all the different hats that you wear at your job, having to provide for a family, going through your own trials and tribulations. It's okay to cry. Believe it or not, it helps when you're able to cry, when you're able to scream and yell and let it out. Um, a hug, believe it or not, no nothing, um, crazy. A hug, an embrace, for a brotherly hug. I used to, I hug my brothers. I hug, my um, fellow coworkers if they need it, um, within reason. Some lines can no longer get crossed that way, but uh, you know, it is okay to let your feelings out. And I'm talking to all the gentlemen out there that are listening. Um, it's okay to let your feelings out. It's okay to talk about your feelings. We take that machismo, pride, bravado. I have to be, all that is man. Um, and I was raised in the old school. That's You don't talk about your feelings. You put on a good straight face. You get your work done. You keep moving. You don't show nobody any kind of emotion. But keeping that bottled up inside, it messes with your mind, messes with your heart, puts a lot of stress on you, and then you end up having a heart attack, like I did.
Or do we? Definitely not.
Mm-mm.
So, do you have any like closing words, Pedro, as far as the challenge starts tomorrow? We're going to be doing a lot of different interviews with different people, and we are going to bombard all the social platforms with a graphic and selfies and the message that basically we're talking about tonight. But if anyone listening wants to participate with us. We have about 45 so far influencers that are going to join us and be part of this. And we have, I believe, we're over 10,000 now of the people who are connected to them, like, which I think is pretty exciting. And those are the people that are willing to participate.
Mm-hmm.
So that is amazing to me to have started this just from a conversation a few days ago, and now the impact can be really big, and we would love to have everybody jump on. But what
Oh
would you
yeah,
like to say about that?
yeah. No, as quick as we stood this up, the campaign, getting together, the organization for the great cause. We are fixing, like Kim said, bombard all the social media platforms with these graphics, with you know good messages out there. We're gonna be hosting different things on different platforms. We might do some Facebook lives. I might do a couple LinkedIn lives to go along with what we are already doing. But we just want to put it in front of as we possibly can, so that way they know, that one person knows there's help out there. There's resources out there to be had. Um, there's shoulders to cry on. There's ears to listen to. So I think it's going to be great. And again, like Kim said, if you want to hop in, join, what's going on, join the cause, please reach out. We'll get you set up.
I made us some beautiful graphics that you can drop your selfie in, or you can share. So that's another part too. And we have we have instructions of how we're going to do it and all of that stuff. If anybody's interested, message either one of us. And I just am really proud, Pedro, I feel very honored to be in the leadership role with you and the other amazing influencers that are with us. I think it's really important that we make it okay. Like, we make it okay that people can be not okay, as you say.
Yeah, no, it's great to collaborate, with so many different people, and like you say, influence, and influence in a great way for a great cause. Influence more people to talk about their feelings, influence more people to reach out, and seek the help that they might possibly need. And if it's one person that we're able to touch and get a message across to, one life that we're able to save, we are doing justice out there.
I love it. Well, thank you, Pedro. If anybody would like to connect with Pedro, the best thing you can do is go listen to the wisdom on his podcast, The X Factor of Safety. But you also can reach out to Pedro. He is like contactable. You know that that's I'm obsessed with collaboration, and I'm also obsessed with people who are actually contactable. I think if you're not, then like, you're not my flavor right now, because I want everybody to be able to get connected. So thank you so much for coming on live with me and being here.
No, thank you. Thanks for the invite. It's awesome.
You're so welcome. So if you're listening and you don't understand exactly what the challenge is, reach out to us and let us give you the instruction sheet so that it makes it simpler. I get very excited and then I get rambly. So if I didn't make sense, the instruction sheet will take you 2 minutes to read and it will make a lot more sense. So if you are interested in joining us on this 1 week adventure, it's not long term. All of us have busy lives, but we really do want to disrupt the scroll on all the social media platforms and make an impact so that people know that we're here. So love you guys. Hope to see you on, well, I think I have another live tomorrow, so I'll probably see you on here tomorrow. But thank you for being with me. This is Kim White with the My Sexy Business team, and I have been chatting with Pedro Maciel, the X Factor of Safety. Y'all have a good night.